And as was just indicated, we are going to record this chat and with our guest. Guest is Bjoern Peterson. And Bjoern, I want to make sure that I'm on record in requesting your permission to be able to record this interview.
Yes.
Fantastic. In just a minute, class, as you listen to the questions and the answers that are being provided for you, I just want to remind you that this is part of that chat series for our Human Services Disability Studies course, and you'll be seeing more of these interviews in upcoming weeks. That being said, today's focus is on regional centers, specifically Herbert Regional Center. And Bjoern has been more than kind enough to be able to join us and respond to these questions to be able to increase your knowledge base of the resources that we have and the amazing talent that are behind them. I've provided you with a set of questions. I'm going to follow that format if it works okay with you. And that first question that I want to open up for you is, please tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what your role is.
Good morning. Yes, my name is Bjoern Peterson. I'm one of the client services managers in the Children and Adolescent Department at Herbert Regional Center, which is based in Torrance, California. We are one of California's 21 regional centers scattered throughout the state, and Herbert Regional Center exclusively serves the South Bay area of Los Angeles County. We are considered a mid-sized regional center. We serve approximately 18,000 clients from birth until end of life. And my department and my role is specifically focused on providing supports to school-aged individuals who we serve.
Fantastic. Wow, that was really well rehearsed. Okay, second question I want to throw at you, Bjoern, is please provide an overview of the program and organization, because in our earlier chat, you mentioned that you have a more narrowed focus within the organization that you represent.
Thank you. So the regional center, Herbert Regional Center, is serving, as I mentioned, 18,000 clients. And I myself, I work in the Department of Children and Adolescent and Young Adults. What we do is we heavily focus on our young individuals with a qualifying regional center eligible diagnoses of autism, intellectual disability, cerebral palsy, and epilepsy, and conditions similar, because we want to make sure we provide the most support during the school years, and also zoom in and focus on the transition planning to make sure our young individuals have a plan going forward, not just during their school years while they are within the school district, but also for the life outside of the school district once they have graduated from high school.
Excellent, excellent. And this would be a perfect opportunity to kind of branch out and highlight the fact that, as you've confirmed, Herbert Regional Center oftentimes collaborates and has a collaboratory relationship with Long Beach City College for a program that is known as College to Career. Would you like to highlight that?
Yes, thank you. So Herbert Regional Center collaborates very closely with the Long Beach City College, College to Career. We feel this is a really valuable and a very unique program with a lot of opportunity outside the traditional framework, if you will. The College to Career program is very unique and very dear to us in that it gives our individuals a very authentic experience of living outside of the family home, living near or on campus while attending college classes, just like any neurotypical student. And also in the later part of the year, begin the vocational component, meaning that this individual will be exposed to living independently outside the family home, attending college classes, and then also pursuing vocational interests and goals.
Fantastic. And to do a shameless plug, which I'm always up for, if any of you students watching this after the fact either have interests or know of people who might be able to benefit, there are monthly information sessions that College to Career has, and I'll be able to highlight that in class itself as far as the location, the dates, and the times. Okay, I think enough of the shameless plug. We'll move on to the next question. The next question is, based on your personal experience and professional experience, share with us a highlight or a success story in the process of supporting the population that you serve.
I'm going to come in from the general angle because I don't want to hone in too specifically on anyone particularly. But we really truly feel this is an incredibly valuable experience for a person, even with limited resources, that this individual can choose to live outside the family home, potentially with a roommate in apartments in great proximity to Long Beach City College. So there's the very mature environment that encourages independence, getting along with fellow students, neurotypicals, becoming a full tilt decision maker as far as one's destiny is concerned, taking responsibility of attending college classes of your choice, interacting with peers, interacting with faculty, streamlining ideas, identifying mutual goals, and then perhaps identifying a unique way of how to accomplish these goals you have decided together. Additionally, towards the end, just like in the real world, there will be the exposure and the opportunity of pursuing vocational interests. So this is a trifold opportunity, just like any typical neurotypical individual will pursue. And now we have our developmentally disabled individual who are not barred from any opportunity, just like anyone else, to pursue their dreams. After this, after this program, which may take up to 4 years, it could be a degree program. It could also be a certificate-based program. We are excited to support individuals going forward, be it through job coaching and customizing employment to make sure that they're successful in the way they wish to be.
Wow, incredibly well encapsulated there, Bjorn. Thank you. I do want to highlight because you and I are really familiar with our industry lingo, and I want to make sure our students are grasping the term that you've used a couple of times, and that's neurotypical. How would you explain that to the person who's not familiar with that term?
Let's chat outside of stigma for perhaps a second. There's perhaps a little bit of a categorization here amongst folks who may have an established diagnosis that may make them regional center services eligible. And then we have also those who may not have any diagnosis or who choose to just go on as they wish. We want to make sure that the individuals that regional center serves, no matter the setting that they're in, is the least restrictive setting. And it also means that they are fully integrated into the community settings and that we are not differentiating between anyone who has a diagnosis and in between those who may not have a diagnosis. So we will not differentiate and we will not distinguish in terms of opportunities available for all and both.
Perfect. Well stated. Okay, so moving forward, we've got the next question, which is when working with parents, because in your work environment, both in C2C as well as in the regional center, the family is usually directly involved here, but working with parents who are trying to support their child or their children for the first time, what are some common obstacles that you notice the parents are attempting to overcome? Not necessarily from your organization, but just in general.
Thank you. That's a great question. I find it very understandable that parents who have grown to be very used to their children being under the school district umbrella are now experiencing perhaps an anxiety evoking change, which is that their loved ones, their young adults now, are perhaps choosing to move outside the family home where they've been sheltered under their parents' supervision and the school district services as well. But the big change can also be an incredible opportunity. So we are working with parents to help them let go, because we are not releasing the young adults into the free world without any supports. That's not the case here. This decision that the individual is hopefully making is coming from a place of empowerment. This is a product of us having met over the course of years, discussing ideas, input, taking feedback, and really taking the individual's feedback to make sure that we can make it a unique experience, a safe experience, and an experience where we can commit to setting up this person for success. So we work with parents and encourage them to learn more about Regional Center, more about the College to Career program, and to participate in any applicable meetings that lead up to high school graduation and further, to hopefully relinquish and ideally lose the fear, but rather come from a different place of support, the place of support in terms of encouragement, belief, and steadfastness, so we can really get the individual on their track, because only if they are successful in the area that they wish to be, then it's truly genuine and designed for this individual to be in the best possible setting that can be. And we will work with parents however we can, be it through information sessions, meetings, one-on-one, and counseling, to make sure that they too lose the fear, because we want to make sure that we can come from a place of strength and set up this person for success only.
Again, well stated. I guess I'll throw in there my 2 cents. I think, personally speaking, I think the concept of independence can be a downright scary place, not just for parent, but also for the individual being served. And knowledge, information becomes a really good salve, if you will, to be able to smooth out those bumps. So yes, totally
Very,
agree.
very true. And
Yeah,
we also want to make sure we are hearing, parents' concerns. And it's been way too long that our young people have been looked at differently. I think families have been in a place of fear for way too long. And by us having this collaboration, it's time to lose the fear.
completely agree. Yes. Yeah. Pastime, maybe even. Okay, if we can transition on to the next question, that is, as your organization focuses on supporting children and younger adults, share with us what have been some of the challenges in engaging your client, and suggest any strategies that you've found that has worked successfully for you.
I think we have way too long, at least, come to the place from the place of sheltering, not being too cautious, being too fearful, not just because of stigma, but we have never really practiced to be true believers in our young individuals' capabilities. And we have, unfortunately, transmitted this place of hesitation to our young individuals for way too long. And
Mm,
now it's time to turn in the totally opposite direction. And we want to make sure that we hold our individuals to the highest expectations, that we take a very close look at them and have very crucial conversations to really look at the strength-based perspective and cultivate those skills and interests to make sure that they can be applied and incorporated into our joint planning process to develop goals that are truly meaningful for our young individuals, just as we would with anyone else.
excellent, excellent. And then just for point of reference for the class, another key term that you shared, or phrase that you shared is strength-based. And for you students that are watching this after the fact, be aware that that's one of the main sources of ammunition, if you will, in our arsenal to try and combat ableism. We want to make sure that the individual has a voice, uses that voice, and does it responsibly.
And
Excellent.
this is also not a fault-finding experience. Once we have identified the strengths, we will also look at the areas where we can perhaps work together to improve them. But we will certainly come up with a plan to extinguish any uncertainties, any hesitation, or any feelings of inferiority, so we can make sure we can develop these areas as well.
Excellent. Okay. We're on a roll. Next question is, what are some of the most common resources that are offered to the families, to the clients, to consumers that you serve? This is kind of a two-parter here. And then the second part of that's going to be, are these resources part of the services that are provided from your organization, or is it being provided in collaboration with others?
Great question. Actually, it's both. We have a large volume of resources and information materials available here at Harbor Regional Center. We call this, it's sort of a library, if you will, but we refer to it as the Family Resource Center.
Hmm,
Families can visit anytime. We encourage them to make appointments case by case, so we really can book the staff, make sure the individuals who are visiting us have the most time made available to them to highlight everything that we have to offer, be it specific to our diagnoses or just in general. Besides all the informational materials we offer on site, our service coordinators are invaluable, and we could not operate one day without them. They are a wealth of information. They come from all walks of life. They have tremendous variety of backgrounds. Some of them even have individuals or children themselves who may have a developmental diagnosis. So the lens with which they're looking at the individuals that we serve, it couldn't be any broader than you can imagine. To the second part of the question, yes, we do have a lot of collaborations with partnering community organizations such as Long Beach Unified or LBCC. And through our joint collaboration process, we regularly update each other, be it online, in person, or otherwise, to make sure we update each other and do a lot of resource swapping so we can together educate the population that we jointly serve on both ends.
Excellent. Very good. All right. Next question that I have for you is, once the individual is on an active caseload, if I'm using the terminology accurately here, what are some of the most common adjustments that they, the consumer, tend to experience, as well as their family? And what are the best strategies that are offered to them to help them through that transitional period?
That is a very sensitive question, but we couldn't go without it. There's this cliche, it's called sharing is caring, and it sounds perhaps a little bit run of the mill, but there's a lot of truth to it. When we get together at Harbor Regional Center, we highly encourage folks to share as much information about themselves as possible. The more we know, the more we can help. We want to make sure where the areas are where there may be some hesitation, some uncertainty, or simply some questions in a general sense. So we can make sure we address them thoroughly on a case-by-case scenario. We will make sure that everyone gets linked to any potential resource that's out there. We are always available for any applicable feedback sessions. We really want to make sure that when we get together on the regional center side for our annual person-centered plan meetings, where we develop goals and ideas for the next year going forward, that we can share information with each other as much as possible. The more we know, the more we can help, the more we can connect you, and the more we can perhaps customize our approach and our supports to develop the individual even further to set them up for the road of success.
Gotcha. Yeah. So definitely from the college perspective and working with my students, I can concur with what you just shared. Oftentimes students are reluctant to share. They're not quite sure how that information is going to be used. There's all kinds of anxiety that's built up behind that. But the more, as you just stated, the more information that can be shared, the better able you, the organization, can help, right?
And we
Yeah.
can develop this plan together, and we'd be glad to make our plan and our ideas, our joint collaboration available to you for any additional edits, for any additional inputs. We can always modify as we go along. And this is customizing our approach around your needs only, and no one else.
Well stated. Okay. So next question that I have for you is really kind of turning the table, if you will. As I think I shared with you before we got into the recording part of this, there are a number of students within the class who might long-term be looking at an organization such as Regional Center for a prospective career path. So if a current student at LBCC within, say, the Human Services program is interested in volunteering, getting an internship, spending time in field work with your organization, what would be the steps that they might need to follow?
Great question. We would love for anyone to be joining us on however level you wish. The number one step is to get in contact with your service coordinator. The service coordinator is always the first point person to go to and address, just because hopefully by that time there's already an established relationship and a certain level of familiarity there. The service coordinator then will share the idea with the respective client services manager, and also channel the idea over to our human resources department, including our family resource center as well. There is a lot of opportunity at the regional center, especially at Harbor Regional Center. We take really great pride in not putting anyone into any box. We like to think outside the box and come up with new ideas of how we can perhaps help you become part of the Harbor Regional Center family. So by any means, start with a service coordinator, and then we will certainly take it from there. Please be willing to share as much as possible about your interest, your perspective, your motivation, so we can really take a close look at this. And then, like I mentioned earlier, develop something that is a fit just for you.
Hey, that was an excellent plug, and I'm going to just kind of amplify that out to all the rest of the students. Folks, opportunity is out there. It's not going to come seeking you. You need to reach out, and Bjorn was kind enough to actually put a point person there in front of you to be able to reach out to, should you be interested. Excellent. Last question that I have for you. Question is there anything that I've not asked about you, your program, the regional center that you feel our students could benefit from learning from?
Hmm. Perhaps it's important to know that all of our services are all entirely voluntary. Individual can come join us. They can perhaps take a break from us and they can come back to us at any later point at any given time. We certainly want to make sure that the individual who may be receiving services by us or who is choosing to join us, this is about you, and we will adjust our ways to serve you or be of an agency or entity of interest to you in however it benefits you. We want to make sure that you are aware that we have multiple departments. We are always growing our network of community partnerships, and we will always be grateful to have any additional input, any idea, another perspective, or any contributions that we can incorporate into the way we operate day in and day out. We don't have limitations, if you will. So come see us. Our website is www.harborrc.org. www.harborrc.org. You can also find us on Instagram. You can always also find us on Facebook. Take a look at us. Check us out. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out with however they may be. We'll be happy to address them.
Fantastic. I wish to express my appreciation for you taking the time and oops, I apologize. My computer just went on the fritz. I want to express my appreciation for you taking the time to meet with us, provide us a wealth of information. Bjorn, I'm going to ask if you will, please, I'm going to hit the stop record button so that we can just kind of tie things up. But students, you've got the brunt of the information. So it's your task now to follow the prompts, respond to the prompts, complete your discussion, and make sure that you respond to your two classmates.